Welcome to my Scrabble YouTube channel. This is Adam Henderson. Now, with people who are neurodiverse, and that includes my friends Richard Stein and Dan Goodwin, uh, we often share a same weakness in Scrabble, and that's we do not challenge plays that we should be challenging. I feel like neurotypical people are much more likely to challenge words that they're unfamiliar with, or at least better at challenging in general, where neurodiverse people are often shy about challenging things. I'm not sure why that is. I think it has to do with us being having a lot of anxiety. I definitely had a lot of anxiety in this tournament. I'm only mentioning that because with Dan Goodwin, I've had really good record against him, especially in tournaments, and partially that's because he does not challenge a lot of my phony plays, which oftentimes I don't need to play a phony against him. And just because I'm playing a phony against him doesn't mean he's never going to challenge, but I have gotten away with a lot of phony plays against him. So let's take a look at the head-to-head. So we've played 12 games. And you can see he's only won 4 games and he's lost 8. So I have a pretty good record against him. I was feeling pretty confident. I was 4-0 going into this game. I was feeling confident. I was quite happy with how the tournament was going. And sometimes that confidence can really help you. So let's take a look at this game. So Dan goes first. So, yeah, I didn't have a great rack. And this was my rack, but I actually did not go first in this game. He opens with Whirl. And I drew this rack, which is really kind of terrible. Did I exchange here? No, I didn't. I felt like playing Ori, it was better to just play through the rack. So Ori leaves a reasonable leave. I thought it was reasonable. It might be below 0. Let's take a look. The F is not generally considered a good tile, but it's a tile I particularly like. Yeah, so it's quite a bit less than 0. It's -4. The F by itself, I think, is -2. I kind of like the F, though. I've had a lot of good plays with the F. I think the F gets a bad rap. Anyway, I played Ori here. Let's see. Yeah, I was considering exchange if I hadn't played Ori. Saying I could play O here as the top move. I think I actually may have considered this, because it does get rid of that U. It's not terrible. Yeah, it's a pretty bad. So AEFI is a lot worse than AEF. It's worse by about 3.5 points. So there's a lot of reasons I rejected this play and played Ori instead. So if you look at Ori, and I think Dan, he has a lot of like goofy reactions that are fun. I kind of expected a goofy reaction, like he'd be confused why I made this kind of weird symmetrical play that opens up two hotspots on F6 and J6. That's kind of the whole point. I wanted to introduce some volatility in this game, which he made a strong starting play that scored 30 points, and I was going to be behind after this first move. So I wanted to introduce some scoring pot spots. So I have scoring pot spots on F6 and J6, but I also have, both the triples are open on A8 and O8. So I thought this move was really crafty. Even if I'm behind, I'm going to have a lot of potential to make really high scoring plays, especially to those triples. So I was quite happy with finding this play. I think this play is actually pretty smart. Let's just take a look at some of these other options. That leaves 4 vowels. So 3 vowels isn't terrible, especially if they're the 3 best vowels and they're not doubled. But it's still -9. The problem with this Fuar play, besides just the -9 value of the leave of AEI, is there's pretty much only one good scoring spot, and that's that triple at A8. And so that's likely to just be taken by Dan. I'm going to be further in debt and also not have a good response after his A8 play. So this isn't a good play either. I think Ori here is just a lot sharper than these other plays. So finally down here, it likes Ori better than Ori. So I guess that makes sense because Ori, actually I'm not sure why that makes sense. Anyway, I played Ori. I think it's a fine play. I was quite happy with this play of Ori. And here, Dan likes to make these plays of where he feels like they're clever. I think he made some sort of remark about this play. He plays "Howbeit," which is kind of a clever play. I'll give it to him. Not your average word. This is a good find on his part, and it scores another 3 points. So now he's up 53 early in the game. So I think he was quite happy with how the game was proceeding at this point. But I got some good stuff here, and this is why I wanted to have some volatility in this game. I decided I wanted to keep A and OS. Let's just get rid of the F and the J and play Hefe, and that's what I did. But looks like there may have been some things like Feijoa here. That would have been 6 more points. I don't want to throw away the S for 4 points. So I didn't consider Feijoa. Maybe, I don't think, even if I had seen it, it would have been worth playing it. That spot on L8 is pretty killer. Makes plays like Zany or Zags. It's just, or even if they don't have the V, Cats. There's just too many ways to score a ton of points on that L spot. So I think Hefe was good. So he plays Joy here. I did play Honk. At first I played Hank, and then I was like, what am I doing? I switched the A for the O, but he could see that I had an A because I started out by playing Hank. I think Honk takes a C hook. No, it doesn't. It's only Chonky. I was wondering if it took a C hook, but yeah, it's only Chonky. That's good. There's no Chonk. There probably should be, but Does it have any hooks at all? The front hooks? Just out of curiosity. Oops, clicked the wrong thing. No, it doesn't have any front hooks. So here he plays over. So after the game, he told me that he could have played Overjoy here, but he was concerned about that opening up. Well, first of all, he wasn't sure if the word was valid in the first place, but he was also concerned about bingos coming down on the row one, which is understandable. Both things are understandable. Not knowing whether Overjoy was good or not, and the concern of a row one. I think in our discussion after the game, we concluded that Overjoy would have been better for him, just given the specific rec I had. But here he just played over. I think below Joy hitting the double. Yeah. So that was what got played. Let's see if I had any bingos here. No, there's no bingos. It looked like a promising rack. I looked for a while here. I didn't know the word namer. That would have scored better. So I actually went with ramens here. I think that's fine. I was a little bit nervous playing ramens because I wasn't sure if it took the S or not. Dan said, why wouldn't it take the S? Well, it's just, I know I think ramen might be like an Asian word. I mean, it's an Asian noodles word. So I was just nervous. I think it even might have like Japanese origin. So a lot of those Japanese words don't take the S. So that was why I was nervous about ramen. I think at one point ramen didn't take the S and then it got added. Okay, yeah, there is a ramen word, but it's RAMIN that got added in 2016. So I don't know. Maybe I was just being paranoid. I like this play of ramens. It scores well. I think there's no reason to not play long here. There's 2 blanks out, and then there's the X and the Z out. So, and I'm keeping the S. So I'm actually in good shape here. So I guess he had too many vowels here, and he plays O. And here, I actually didn't see this a spot for mildest. I saw that I had mildest, but I didn't see the spot to play it until like I almost made a mistake and didn't play my bingo, but then I finally found the spot where it played. So I'm glad I didn't miss it. And cat comes down. Let's take a look at the score. So it's close. I have a score advantage now of about 23 points, and it's my turn. That's pretty good. I should be feeling pretty good about the game, especially if my next rack is good. And it was very good. I drew the blank, and I saw my only bingo of turtling, which I was really happy to see this play. It says, so now I drew the other blank, and now the game's pretty much over. I only saw detainers through the I didn't really consider anything. I knew I wanted to play through that ER, so I did find detainers. I was fairly confident detainer was a word, so I just went ahead and played it. Even if detainers came off, I would still probably be okay in this game. He plays gear. Yeah, now I'm just flat out winning. There's probably no coming back for him. So I'll just go through the rest of these quickly. Played at it. And he actually had XED. My play of at it was quite just in time because he had XED slotting underneath Ma, forming Max and Geit. That would have scored a ton of points for him. So I played that just in time. And I saw that Addit scored a lot of points, and it just seemed like the best place to play. If I play anywhere else, I'm creating more bingo lanes. He plays Ox for 39. Oh, here I just played Pulp. Oh, actually, hold on. He plays Ox, and then I played Clang. Yeah, I played Clang here. I kept both P's. So Clang, the idea behind it is to just block off the board, block off bingo lanes, and Clang does a good job of that. I feel good about that play. Fate comes down. See if I can read my handwriting here. Oh, Pup Vein is my, yeah, so I played Pulp here. And just make sure that everything looks right. Yeah. Pulp for 16. Plays Yond, which I was happy with because that just blocks off the board more. He's not really in contention to win this game at this point. And here I felt like there's just no way he can bingo, so I just went ahead and played Engrave. I was right. He plays Boric. And then AE comes down. So here's the game. I won 413 to 335. This is a quicker video. I was happy with how I played in this game, 5-0 at this point. And of course, I'll be playing Nigel Pelletier in the King of the Hill round. So that'll be my next video. And yeah, that's the first game that will be very challenging for me. And yeah, I look forward to analyzing that game. And I'm actually about to do that because I do all three of these at once. I just space them out throughout the coming week when I release them. So I'll see you next time. And yep, thanks for watching.